What does your mechanic mean when he tells you that your car has a dead battery? And also, what are the signs and symptoms that you can look out for when you're trying to start your car to be able to know that it has a dead battery? And also, I'll give you some tips on how you can better maintain your battery so that it lasts the longest. Today, we're going to be doing this video on this Mazda Demio, which is up for sale. So if you want more details on that, you can get in touch with me. But all the examples I'm going to give you today are going to apply to any car that has a battery. If you're looking to buy a new battery, you can go ahead and check our official parts sponsor, which is Auto Drift, found on Panganani Road and also in Makeni behind Cosmopolitan Mall, where they have a different selection of batteries that you can choose from to see what works well in your car. So the first thing that we need to know is what is the role of the battery inside your car. And basically what your battery does is that it is the main power source that your car has to be able to, one, start the car if the car is off, and also to manage the power for all the auxiliary components in your car, like your radio and your ECU, interior lighting, when the car is off. So this is basically the main power source that starts your car and runs all the auxiliary components inside your car. But once the car has started, the power source actually switches to your alternator. The alternator is the one that generates all the current that is needed to maintain your car running and also managing all the auxiliary components that are inside your car. And then once it's started, the alternator charges the battery and then manages the power throughout the vehicle. So then what are the signs and symptoms that your car battery is dead? The first one that you will notice is that your car will have a slow crank. So when you go to crank your car, instead of it cranking rapidly, it has a slow crank. That sounds like the engine having a hard time to start. And that will be a sign that you have a low battery. In a worst case scenario, your car might not even slow crank. You might hear it slow crank, but then also give out a clicking sound. There are other times that you will also see that the dashboard is on, and some people will say, well, my dashboard is on, how can I have a low battery? Well, the little lights that are on your dashboard actually don't take much power to turn on. So even if you see that your dashboard is on, but when you go and try to start the car, the dashboard goes off, that could be a sign that you have a low battery. Another sign you might notice is dimming lights in your interior. And this can happen, for example, if you increase the load on the system, if you've got, a big sound system in your car and you're playing music, you might notice the lights start to dim on the interior. That could be a sign that you've got a low battery. And also just generally, if you turn on the lights and they look like they're not as bright as they normally are, then that could be a sign that you have a low battery. So now let's talk about the reasons why your battery might be going bad. And the first one is you are using a wrong battery for your car. So for example, on this one, you might end up getting a battery that is smaller than what is required for this car. And that ends up overworking that battery and making it wear out prematurely, and you end up with a bad battery. So every time you're going to buy a battery for your car, make sure that you're getting a battery that is the appropriate size, that was designed for your car, so that it's able to manage all the auxiliary components in your car, and also it's able to start the engine without completely draining the battery. Another thing that can cause your battery to go bad is a faulty alternator that is not charging your battery. And normally if your alternator has a fault and it's not charging your battery, you will get a battery light on your dashboard that will let you know that you need to check the charging system. And what happens there is, if your alternator is not charging your battery gets depleted and ends up giving you a situation where you're not able to start your car. So just make sure that when you get a battery light on your dashboard, you have the alternator checked so that it's always charging your battery, and that way your battery will be maintained and have a longer life. Another thing that can cause your battery not to charge is loose connections. So always make sure that you check the ground and the positive connection. Make sure that they're solid, they don't move around, they're not loose, they're nice and tight. That will make sure that your battery is connected properly and is charging, making sure that it doesn't drain. Another thing that can drain your battery is if it has corrosion on the connections. I'll put up a picture for you guys to see, because this one doesn't have any corrosion. But if you have corrosion on your connections, or they're loose, like I said in the previous tip, then you have a situation where your battery is not charging. So if you get any corrosion on your battery terminals, make sure that you use some hot water to clean that out, and also using some engine grease around the terminals also helps to make sure that that corrosion doesn't build up, and you have a battery that's well connected and will be charging properly, making sure that it doesn't drain and damage your battery. Another thing that really wears out your battery is continuously draining it. So when you're using, your auxiliary components inside your car, whether it's your radio or you're using your car to charge your phone and stuff like that, if you continuously drain the battery to a point where it's too low and you have to jumpstart your car, that can shorten the lifespan of your battery. So on average, a battery can last you from 2 to 3 years. There are other batteries that go even longer than that. I know the batteries in my car have lasted about 4 years now, and that just happens when you maintain your battery well. But on average, you get about 2 to 3 years from your battery. So it's not always that you're doing something wrong. It could also just be the general wear on the battery brand that you pick up. Okay, so let's wrap this up with me giving you some tips on how you can check the condition of your battery. I've got this battery that I brought out down here. Some batteries will come with an indicator like this one, where you'll be able to see there are three colors here. There's green, black, and white. And basically, when you translate this from Japanese, I think this is Japanese or Chinese, you'll be able to see that green means that your battery is good. Black means that you need to boost the battery to recharge it, and when it's white, then you just have to replace the battery and the battery is completely gone. So this is an easy way. When you open the bonnet of your car, you can be able to see if it's green, you're all good. If it's black, you need to boost the battery, get it recharged, and then if it's white, then you know that your battery is completely dead. But the other way that you can check the condition of your battery or the voltage is what I'm going to show you on the inside. Some cars like the Nissan 350Z will have a built-in voltmeter like the one I'm showing you on the screen. But for us who don't drive my 350Zs, you can buy yourself one of these modulators. A lot of us use these for playing music. But if you buy a good quality one, it actually comes with a voltmeter. And once you connect it, you go to turn the ignition on, you can see that it shows that my battery is at 12.7 volts, and that way I'm able to tell that my battery is healthy. This little thing can also be helpful to let you know how your alternator is performing in terms of charging your battery. So when you start the car and you connect this back, you can see that it shows 13.9, which means that my alternator is actually charging the battery, because 13.9 is the average voltage that your alternator will be, able to charge your battery. So that's another way to just be able to see using this little modulator. In some places they're a bit expensive, but it's a worthwhile investment, because at least you know that when you get into your car, if you see that your voltage is lower than 12, so say 11.9 or anything below 12, then you know that your battery might need to be boosted or it needs a better charge. If you find that your voltage is something like 9 or even less than 10 volts, then you know that you really have a bad battery and it might need to go for reconditioning. If it is a battery that can go through maintenance, and if you find it even less than that, you're talking about like 7 volts and even lower, then you just know that you have a completely dead battery. So this little thing is definitely a good investment, because you're able to see your charging voltage, and even when you turn off the car and you just step in, you're able to see immediately that your battery is okay. Right, that was just a quick video about battery maintenance. And as always, if I left out anything and you guys know about it, put it in the comment section so that everybody gets to learn the information. And I will see you guys on the next video.